Today we're going to check out 1987's Lethal Weapon on 4K Blu-ray. I'm not here to talk about how good or bad this movie is, I'm just going to share some of my thoughts on the audio and video quality. Now let's go over a few tech specs. The movie was shot on 35mm. It's got a 4K DI, it's rated R. Runtime is 117 minutes for the director's cut, which is the one that I watched, or 109 minutes for the theatrical cut. Aspect ratio is 185:1, and the audio gets a brand new Dolby Atmos mix. Now before we take a look at the audio and see how active this mix is, if you don't know what the Dolby Atmos object viewer is, you can find a link down below in this video's description that tells you all about it, what it does, and where to get it. You can also find a list of all the gear that I use for these 4K reviews down there as well. So I watched this movie in Atmos, of course, and it sounds exactly like you would think a movie from the 80s would sound, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not going to have the same full-body dynamic sound as modern movies have. I found it to sound kind of thin and pretty flat sounding for most of the runtime. Looking at the Atmos viewer, we can see that this is in a 7.1.4 configuration, and it stays this way for the entire time. It's got decent instrumental separation from within the musical score, so you'll hear different instruments and different speakers in the front stage. There's some light ambiance that gets extended to the surround channels, but nothing substantial happens overhead. I don't recall hearing anything really discreet happening above me except for some light music. There's a few shootouts in the movie, but most of it does stay up front. The gunshots sound dated, but there is some light bass that kicks in during these scenes. Oddly, there's a deep low-frequency rumble that stays on for the entire scene when Riggs and Murtaugh are hanging out on Murtaugh's boat at around the 24-minute mark. I don't know what the point was with having this much bass, but it's probably the strongest use of the subwoofers in the movie. There is one explosion, but even that sounded pretty light, although the dialogue sounded fine and easy to hear throughout. Now, just coming off of reviewing Jurassic Park, I didn't think that this was gonna look any better than that did, but for a slightly older movie, Lethal Weapon looks like it's the newer movie. Some shots could actually pass for something that was shot today. The close-ups looked extremely detailed to where you'll see fine lines and pores, and you'll even be able to make out the individual thread count in shirts and jackets. It's got a very fine layer of grain that's always present, which gives this a very filmic look. And even if you don't like film grain, I doubt that you'll be bothered by it here. The HDR can make some whites seem borderline too hot, but it's definitely got that bright HDR specular pop. The color palette is natural with very nice saturation, with only some of the darker scenes looking a bit too dark without much detail. There's still some fine shadow detail, and the highlight detail wasn't blown out. The last time I saw this movie was maybe on DVD when it first came out decades ago, so I have no idea how this compares to that or how it compares to any of the Blu-ray releases. It's actually been so long I kind of forgot what the movie was even about, so it was like watching the movie for the first time all over again. It's a great looking 4K transfer, so I'm gonna go with an 8.6 for video. The audio was alright. It's not gonna blow your socks off for dynamics. The bass was just okay, and the Atmos immersion wasn't anything special. I'm gonna go with a 7 for audio. So what are your thoughts on this new Lethal Weapon 4K transfer? Have you seen it, and did you think it sounded better than I did? Leave your comment down below and let me know. Now, if you do want to pick up this movie, I will leave some links for it down below in this video's description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you want, you can follow us on social media, and if you want to support the channel and get exclusive content or great discounts on audio and video gear, then stop by our Patreon page. Be sure to like this video if you found it useful, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you again in the next video.